right, welcome back, everybody. This is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Sylvester Inspires Belief Cast. Thanks once again for joining us, and I'm grateful for all of your support. Thank you for believing in me. This has really taken off, and I feel so blessed. And it's not because of me, it's because of you guys and then amazing guests that I have on. And today is no different. We have Trina Limpert. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. I got to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Veracity Networks. Thank you. And Drew Peterson, thank you for believing in me as well and supporting this. It really has helped so much in spreading the word. A little background on Trina. Trina's personal mission for the last 25 years has been to create awareness of the benefits for women in technology careers, and has brought the Mother Coders program, which I want to know more about, to Utah in partnership with Facebook and Weber State University to assist women in re-entering the workforce and transitioning their careers into higher paying and more flexible technology roles. And I know that's a big thing that you do. She was recently selected as one of Utah's Business Magazine 30 Women to Watch. And what a great honor that is, right?
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
Yeah, and a lot of powerful women, and she's one of those. And she's many other awards, which we're going to talk about. She was president of women at eBay and overseeing 1,500 members, over 17 countries, 22 sites. I mean, that in itself is an amazing thing. Your career spans for 25 years. You're all about leadership, vision, commitment, action. The list goes on and on and on. She's there to help women, but she's also there to help anybody. She's very inspiring. I've been following her for about 7 months. And I was just telling you before we got on that how you've inspired me. I love how confident you are. I love how you carry yourself. And I think that's why people gravitate towards you. Yeah.
I'm passionate. That's for sure. That's probably the one word.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, great. Well, why don't we get started, Trina, and just kind of maybe tell us a little bit about your family and where you grew up.
I'd love to. I'm a Utah girl. So I was born and raised in Utah. So mountain girl, grew up running in the hills and building forts and exploring. I was definitely very adventurous growing up, but we moved a lot. So lived in Cache Valley and Utah County primarily, but I moved I think 10 times up until I was 15. So wow. we were pretty fluid. I learned to, we showed up, the moving truck was there. It was like, oh, time to go, I guess, and I just thought that was normal. It wasn't till many years later, but I was the 7th of 10 kids. So it was his, hers, and ours. And I was the first of the ours. So my mom had 4 girls. My dad had a boy and a girl, and they got married. My dad adopted my mom's 4 girls. So it wasn't like a real, it was kind of a solid family there. And then they had me, 2 more boys, and another girl. So, that was a full house. And
that
again,
is full house. Yeah. How was that being with that many?
you always had somebody around, and we're still close, and most everybody's still in Utah. I've got one sister in Ohio. We had a lot of challenges growing up that I didn't realize some of the things that we dealt with weren't normal. A lot of financial struggles. There were times where our family was on welfare and had to work through that. And, I know my parents really struggled, but they always were there and supportive and loving and, had a really solid, I would consider solid family experience, right? In spite of all these other outside things.
Sure.
When I was a teenager, my sister... many years before had been diagnosed with lupus and ended up needing a lung transplant.
Yeah.
And so there were some real extreme challenges within our family that we went through with her and her health. And then also many years later, she ended up having to do another transplant and didn't survive that.
Oh, wow. That's
and
tough.
So there's been those types of challenges all my upbringing that you just kind of say you just get through it and move on. And it wasn't till many years later where I look back and go, wow, we dealt with a lot of stuff.
Right.
And how heavy that was.
Kind of when you're going through it, you're like, well, this is just what we do.
This is what you do.
Right?
Yeah. When you're in it, you don't see it. It's when you get out of it and then look back and go, wow.
Yeah. Almost like, how did we go through all that? How did we survive it?
And we're still close. We're all still,
Well, I didn't mention that you're also the mother of 8 children. Is that correct?
So I'm the mother of 3.
Mother of 3. Okay.
I have 3 sons, and I have 5 stepkids.
Gotcha.
So the running joke is we have like 27 kids. So, we got a lot of kids running around.
Yeah.
They've, we remarried 5 years ago. And so, talk about challenges in life. Blending a family of 8 kids is not the easiest of things, but you can survive that. You're like, oh, we can get through a lot of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Looking back, it's one of those look back moments again.
For sure.
But yeah, great. All our kids are getting older and kind of moving into their own self. The oldest is 26, the youngest is 12.
Oh, okay.
So
wide range there.
Wide range, yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of looking back, when you can look back now, I mean, and we're going to get into how you're passionate about leadership and inspiring other people. But growing up, now that you look back, what did you learn and grow from the most? Going through all of that, now that you can look back a little bit?
Oh, it's not just one thing. It never is. I've had a lot of different scenarios. Going through. Oh God, where do you even start? You look, it's like, okay, that's a big question to ask. Yeah. But when I was young, really going through learning how to adapt quickly. Like I was saying, moving, having to be in a new place, a new scenario, make new friends. Starting over, learning to adapt through all of those. And then I just always, connected really well. Sometimes it was harder, and I learned to be okay on my own too.
Yeah.
In those scenarios where it's like, okay, I'm new, I'm just kind of figuring it out on my own. And then eventually, friendships or something would come. And so I think that was something that really helped later on, and just being okay on being on your own and not having to have like all those connections that you saw everybody else was having.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's been helpful. As I've kind of gone through my career and learning to adapt and shift and move and being okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. because I hear this a lot in with my clients that I deal with, where they talk about moving a lot and how challenging that is. And, I like what you said, is learning to be comfortable with you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us, we struggle with that. It's like we're not around someone and all of a sudden we get antsy. It's like, I need to be doing something.
COVID been a learning lesson for that?
Absolutely.
I think that's the one thing in COVID, and sitting in my little office at home on Zoom calls for 12 hours a day. And I'm talking to people, but I'm not connecting with people.
Right.
And I remember when they first reopened like the gyms and you can go out and just be around people. It wasn't even like about talking to people. It's just like, okay, I get to be around people.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I just love that energy.
I know. We went to the movies for the first time a week ago, and I'm like, this feels so nice to just get out of the house and
somewhat normal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so as you move forward, I mean, what do you think drives your passion for what you're doing now? In 2018, you founded RizeNext, a technical and professional development company to consult companies to how to best engage their, diverse workforce and things like that. How did that all come about?
Oh, this has been a lifelong journey for me.
Yeah.
This isn't just something I started in 2018. So I kind of to give the history here. When I was 18, I found myself working at a fast food restaurant called Vittles.
Okay.
I think everybody knows of it as called Arctic Circle now. But that was where I had this wake up moment of like, I am not living this life. Like, there is no way this is my future, right? And I knew the only way for me to be able to get out of it was to get an education, but I didn't have the money. I didn't have the funding. I was like, how do I do this? So I've always had to try and find my way through things. And I had to save my Vittles dollars basically for a while to be able to make it into my first semester. I just booked that one first semester at UVU. And I actually had always been drawn to engineering and technology fields. It's just innate in me. I loved it.
Yeah.
Even growing up, I played with Barbies, but my Barbies got bored in the Barbie house. And my parents had bought me an erector set, and I'd build motorized cars for my Barbies.
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, from a very young age, I just loved to design and build. And so I'd actually gone into architectural engineering. And took this first semester, and one of the required classes was a Pascal programming class. So I'm dating myself quite a bit for those techies out there. They'll go, Pascal. Yeah.
You're like, what?
What? But I took this class and I'm like, oh, I can do this. And there was this new thing called computer science, right? It wasn't called tech or high tech back then, but I was like, oh, I can do this. I love this. And switched my degree into computer science, you know, and got a job at Hill Air Force Base working graveyards. And started my computer science degree at Weber State.
Okay.
So it's fun to be circled back now working with Weber State
Yeah,
and Hill
really.
Air Force Base and like back to my roots a little bit here.
Right.
And so I switched to computer science, and, you know, I started attending my classes, and I'm looking around, I'm like, where are all the women? Like, I'm it, you know, and it is interesting as a woman in these scenarios when you are the minority. Mm-hmm. You start to question yourself. You start to go, okay, I never questioned if I should be there. I questioned speaking up and having a voice.
Wow, okay.
And should I say something? And maybe they know something more than I know. And, you know, I started questioning. I remember there was a very specific situation that happened where we were working on a group project and designing, and the gentlemen in my group were going this really complicated route, and I'm like, well, maybe they're smarter than me, maybe they know more, maybe they're
right. And
I didn't say anything for a little while, and then I finally was like, I gotta say something. I'm like, what if we were to do it this way? And they went, oh yeah, that is a lot simpler, let's do that. And I think that was the first moment for me where going, I have something valued to add,
right?
And my perspectives do matter. I mean, it was a minor, small thing, but it really shifted my mindset in, I do know what I'm talking about. I do know what needs to be done, and I'm open to learning and gaining and working in group settings. And so I think that was kind of the beginning of me really finding my voice. And so, you know, as I went through my career, and I actually wrote my thesis paper at Weber State on why women should go into computer science 26 years ago.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's not something that I just picked up, right? This has been lifelong in me passion, and part of my thinking for decades, right?
Wow. That's amazing.
And over the years, as I got into my career and I continued to see, you know, we'd have 80 engineers when I was at Novell, and there was like 2 or 3 women. Yeah. It was just part of how you worked, right? And there's definitely challenges that you deal with in those type of scenarios when you're the minority, and having to always prove yourself, having to show you know what you're talking about more. Like there's a lot of those things. So I just felt like, you know, through my career, I didn't have a lot of good examples of female leadership. And so I'm like, I'm going to create them. I'm going to be one, and then I'm going to create it, right? Like I'm there. They just really, if nobody else is going to do it, then I'm going to pick it up. And
why not you?
Why
right?
not me? Right. And I think that's something, if, you know, for those listening, it's like there's something I really resonated when, and one of your questions is like, what are one of the limiting beliefs that you had? Is that I always thought it was somebody else that should be leading. Yeah. I always thought it was someone else that should stand up and answer the question or tell us the direction. And it kind of, through those experiences, I recognized, no, I'm the leader. Yeah. I'm the one that can decide or take choice. And it's years of, you know, this wasn't like just a one situation. It was like through, you know,
some time.
My prior marriage and through divorce and through some of these things, I had to continually learn, like, no, trust yourself. Right. Be true to yourself. You've got to believe in yourself. And once I finally have, and I'm still working on that. Sure. Right. Yeah. You know, it's like, trust yourself, trust your thoughts and where you see your true self being. And then things seem to start lining up the way they should.
Oh, I love that. You know, speaking of that, you know, how, you know, that limiting belief you had, well, you know, someone else should lead, but you know what? No, actually I can do that. Yeah. How has that played a role in how you inspire other women? Is this something that you're also teaching them as well? Yeah. Yeah. You know, in 2016, I had the opportunity with eBay to participate in a program they called Make a Difference, where we actually partnered with the Global Hunger Project and traveled to Senegal, Africa. Oh, wow.
So it's kind of interesting. There was a couple things I learned from that, which was, there's a power in showing up. They actually learned about this from a leadership conference that was in San Diego. Mm-hmm. And I showed up to the airport and they'd actually canceled my flight. And I was like, okay, well, I can just go home. I think there was like some game on or something, like a basketball game. I'm like, I could just watch the game and skip this conference. But I felt like, again, listening to yourself is like, I knew I needed to be there.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't find a flight into San Diego. So I booked a flight into LA at 1:00 in the morning, hired a driver. They drove me down to San Diego, and I show up, and the keynote speaker is the CEO of the Global Hunger Project. And she's talking about this concept of unlikely leaders. Mm-hmm. And the whole premise is that we have this perception of who is a leader. Oh, it's, a professional man that's running a business or whatever, I don't know, whatever it is. Right. We have these preconceived notions of what is a leader. But really, every single one of us is a leader. Mm-hmm. There's when you tie into somebody and you trigger something where they go, oh, that's meaningful to me. I have purpose there.
Yeah.
This shift that happens and the impact they're able to make when they start to go, oh, I can change this. I don't have to wait for somebody else. That's what really changes things. And that's what the Global Hunger Project does. Is they go into these epicenters and villages of like 15,000 people, and they're trying to create self-reliance.
Wow.
And one of the first things they do is they say, every single one of you is a leader. You need to start empowering your women and creating them, pulling them into decision making, because you're limiting yourself. And when you do that, you start to see change and shift.
Yeah.
And so that's where it really became real for me, that if I can tie in and start creating this change and shift in mindset of I am the one that can affect the change,
right?
How broad of an impact you can have. The impact of one, right? Is then leads to 5, then leads to 20. It just becomes a multiplier. And so that's where I really truly understood that concept of everybody a leader.
Yeah. I love
and then this last year I had the opportunity to go to like a girls camp, and we were doing this river run, and I really want to embed into young girls' minds that they are leaders. I don't think we do that at a young age.
You're
and
right.
It's not until later in life that they start going, oh, or hopefully sometimes never happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And so I spoke to them, and I did this exercise where I was like, okay, if I want everybody here that sees themselves as a leader to raise their hands. And there's 50 girls here, and not a single one of their hands went up.
Really? Wow.
And so I shared this story, one that I had learned from Kathy Burke, the woman I told you about that I had heard.
Yeah.
And she had shared this story about a woman that had lived in a village in India where they weren't even allowed to wear shoes. They were basically treated the same as livestock. And they went in there, and she understood, it's like, wait, no, this should change. And it triggered something in her to saying, that's up to me. I can affect this change. I don't need to wait for somebody else. And so she would go into the community building, time and time again, and they would kick her out.
Really?
Over and over again. And even the other women in the village would be like, no, you got to be quiet. You got to don't rock the boat, you know?
Yeah.
They would like literally throw her out of the building with chair, like, get out of here. But she was persistent. She kept at it. She finally got them to allow the women in the village to wear shoes. But not only that, but she's like, okay, I'm not going to stop there. I now want us to receive an education. Yeah. I now want to this. I now want like those little shifts.
Just
that
started
it doesn't have to be something huge. It can be as simple as I want to wear shoes.
I want to wear a pair of shoes. Yeah. Wow.
And so, once I shared that story with those girls, and then I asked the question again, because now you understand each one of you has the power to affect change. Whatever it is in your life that you see as wrong and you want to make it shift, or you want to influence, or you want to, you can do that. Wow. That is a leader. And so I asked the question again, and every single one of their hands went up.
Wow.
And that was like powerful. I'm like, yes, that's what we're trying to do here.
And it tells you they're getting it.
Yeah.
Like they got your message.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I'm getting what you're saying.
Yep. So that's what I continue to do. Like even with the women that I've gotten mother coders is, you did the hardest part. You showed up.
Right.
The rest of it, we're here for you. You've got this community you control your future.
Right.
Right. Not your circumstances. So, that message, trying to repeat that with the women that I work with when in any capacity, or even not just women, like my teams I manage or anybody. It's just really trying to empower them to know that they don't have to wait for me to make a decision.
Yeah.
They can lead out on something, and kind of giving them the reins to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's really what you're doing is you're empowering other women, right?
Mm-hmm.
To kind of go through the same process you went through growing up all the way up to this point, right?
Yeah.
And what you've learned and things like that. So, it's interesting as I'm hearing you talk, like, where it's like, we just want to wear some shoes. Yeah. Can we have shoes?
Yeah.
And it sounds so silly when you say it, like, really, but that's really what it was. That's what it was like.
That's what it's like. It's still like that.
And that's what I wanted to ask you, because our culture, women have been, let's be honest, like kind of less than.
Yeah.
Be at home, have your shoes
Here's
off.
Your box,
here's your box, do that. And so do you feel like the culture is shifting, or do you still feel like, I'm sure it is on some level, but where are you at with that? How do you see it?
Oh, I've gone through decades of you should fit in this box. Right. One example, in having to listen to myself and ignore the pressures of you should be at home. Mm-hmm. So I knew I needed to go get my master's degree. Like I had tried, I actually applied and then found out I was expecting a child. And so I had to wait, and I went back. But I remember somebody's telling me that I was being selfish, that I should be home with my kids. And that me going to get my education and getting a master's degree, because I had a young 4 and 2-year-old at the time when I went back, they told me I was being selfish. And that through the years, the mother's guilt is real. Yeah. And I fought it, I shouldn't be at home. I should be at home. I shouldn't do this. And
you're going to hurt the kids if you do that.
Yeah. And I'm like, my kids are freaking awesome. Like they're great. And they're like, I've asked them, I'm like, do you guys think I should have been at home? Like, do you think, they're like, why would we want you at home? Like, this is all good. Like, and they're like, we learned a ton from you. And we're, it's like these experiences they wouldn't have had if I was there all the time. I just make sure the quality's good. Right. And
absolutely. I love that.
I think what I've tried to share with women is the power of and. It's not or.
Okay.
You can, and I write this even on my info sessions that I do for women in tech. It's like, you can have a fulfilling career and successfully raise your family. Yeah. It's not I pick one. Yeah. It's, you can do it both.
You can do both. Yeah.
And, so I've had a lot of those, like, you can do this and you can do that, and there's ways to do it, and find fulfillment, because a lot of the coaching I've done through the years, right? Mm-hmm. And where I really found this, why I gravitate to tech, is I've got this huge tech gap, right? In being able to not find enough people. I've had to hire so many people off visas, right? Really? And bring them out of the country because we don't have enough core talent here. Yeah. But yet we're growing. And I'm like, at the same time, I had women coming to me and saying, Trina, I hear there's all this opportunity in tech. Show me how. And I'm like, why are we not tapping into that? It's like the most underutilized resource we have. Yeah. And we're not leveraging it. And because there are these misconceptions of like, oh, well, women are at home, they're not interested, they don't have an affinity for tech, which is, you've got to solve women understanding you do have skill sets and you can do this, and there's a fit for everybody in tech. It's not just coding. Right. So that's what we work through with these women, is solving that, and at the same time creating visibility and awareness of the benefits of hiring women. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Tell us a little bit about the Mother Coders program.
Sure. So, like you said, I started RizeNext basically to help transition women into tech, and I was doing it in groups or one-on-one or as needed, working with companies. I worked a lot with like employee resource groups on how to empower women in the workplace, doing some consulting there. And then I kept seeing this issue. So when we're talking about, well, how do we create this bridge? Yeah. From, okay, I'm been a stay-at-home mom for 20 years, or I'm in the workforce, but I'm in finance, and I want to shift. Like, I've got women in my program all the way from high school graduates to postgrads. And all over the place from a diversity perspective, a financial perspective. Like, there isn't a set group that's like, oh, it's just single women. I've had some people say that to me, like, I won't support you because I support family values, and I know this is for single women. But yes,
Really,
that one really shook me up when I was like,
sure.
I think I'm supporting family values. These women are providing for their families and helping support their children.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the economic impacts and the social impacts are immense, right? So it's like those mindsets are real.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they are.
I had heard about this organization from my partner. Her name's Mikkel Blake. She had actually gone through the program in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
And had been from Utah and said, I want to bring this to Utah. Somebody said, hey, you need to talk to Trina. Probably best idea ever. We've now kicked that off a year ago.
Nice.
And we just launched our first program last week in Lehigh.
Really?
In partnership with Utah Valley University and Facebook. And
that's awesome.
Album VC came in, Overstock came in. Like, we've had incredible support. Man, it's been amazing.
That's cool.
And then we also are launching next week in Ogden with Weber State University, and have some partnerships and sponsorships up there for that region.
Nice. Congratulations.
And, getting a lot amazing. Of the greatest thing is I've got the support from, our educators, from our corporate sponsors, as well as the women themselves coming in, because that was a big worry for me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this program together. Right. We're going to launch here in Utah. And am I going to get applicants? Right? Like, okay.
Yeah. Is anyone going to do this?
Yeah. So I got really nervous, but we ended up having to shut down the application because we were going to have to start turning people away. So I think we've hit this undercurrent of need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially right now with COVID. As I've been interviewing the women, which is, by the way, one of my favorite things to do in all of this is these connections with these women.
I bet.
I'm really busy, and my team would be like, do you want us to do the interviews? I'm like, no. I'm like, that's my favorite thing.
Right.
I am doing the interviews.
Let me do that. Yeah.
Let me do that. But as I talk to them, just the need that's out there right now, I don't know if anybody really understands the impacts of COVID, and people's hours are being reduced. Their husbands are laid off, or they're single and trying to take care of their families, and working in positions that just aren't ideal for trying to provide for a family. Right. And especially now, it's like, oh, my kids are at home, but I have to be in the office, and tech provides that flexibility to be at home. And, I've benefited from that.
For sure.
For many years.
Yeah.
And so now that we've launched, we're seeing a lot of support there. Have some really exciting things potentially coming. So watch out.
Okay. I'm
we'll
sure.
See what comes to fruition here in the next few weeks. I'm excited to be able to expand this, not just Utah, but we're looking outward. Yeah.
That program sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And it's obviously needed.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see where that goes. And I'm sure when you say something big's coming, I believe you. I mean, you've done so much, and you're doing so many great things. So is that part of RizeNet? Is it part of the same? It's a partnership? Okay.
Yeah. So RizeNext we're basically running it. RizeNext is. Mother Coders had run the program, and Mikkel had gone through it before, so we really leveraged their learnings. Mm-hmm. We've changed some of it, and going forward, we'll see how we structure it going forward. But Mother Coders was a nonprofit, and I'm kind of a social good for-profit.
Yeah.
And so looking at how we do that going forward and how that would be structured, we're working through that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit, because I'm going to ask you another tough question. Okay. Not tough question, but a deep question. If you could talk to someone right now, because I really believe your words will inspire someone today. And I know this might sound dramatic, but I even think to the point where you'll save someone's life. And I know that sounds very dramatic, but what I mean by that is, I think a lot of us walk around just existing, which really, it's all as if we're dead almost. Mm-hmm. And we're just trying to, I guess eventually we'll be buried, right? Mm-hmm. And what would you tell girls right now who are growing up, who maybe listen to this? I do have a younger audience as well, that would hear these words. What could you share with them right now that would help them believe in themselves a little bit more, realize they truly are a leader, And I know that's a big question.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But I guarantee you there's some girls, women listening to this right now that are in that mindset you were just talking about, that they're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel like, well, I can't, no, that's not me. I can't do it. Or, you know, they've
Mm-hmm.
bought into that.
Yeah.
What could you tell them?
Find your purpose.
Mm.
And, you know, everybody has a superpower.
Ooh, I love that.
And that superpower is themselves and their own uniqueness.
Ooh. Say that again.
Everybody has a superpower.
Oh, man, I love that.
And everybody's superpower is their own uniqueness.
Wow, I love that.
And what I try to do is to really make sure that people understand you are more, and especially for women, us talking about you're fitting into this box.
Yeah.
You're more than just a mom. And a lot of women that have been raising their families for 20 years and their kids are gone go through this really challenging process of like, now who am I?
Right.
Everything I've lived for my whole life has been my kids, and go through a bit of depression and challenging. There's so much more that each person has the opportunity to impact in the world. It's just, that's the one thing, is find where that passion is for you. Everybody's going to be different. Nobody's the same. Everybody has something different that they are to impact the world by.
Right.
And once you tie into that purpose for you and you find that, and it might be a self-discovery process of, I'm going to try this, and then I'm going to, you know, whether it's education or volunteering or getting involved some way, until you figure out this is what's meaningful for me. And that's what I've been fortunate to stumble on in my life is, this is my purpose.
This is it. Yeah.
And I remember saying to my husband a few years ago, I'm like, this is going to be what I need to do. Like, I knew it, you know, and just being committed to it. That's where that confidence comes from, is because through my process over the last 25 years is this is what I need to do. Yeah. And now I'm doing it, which is really super fun. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. But I think there was an example of this. So, last year I got diagnosed with cancer. Oh, wow. And I beat it. So
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm a survivor. All you women, get your mammograms, please. Yeah. Just, you know, social message there. But I was diagnosed in February 19th last year. Decided to do full double mastectomy in March of last year. And was able to be fortunate enough to have been able to get everything, and didn't have to do chemo. I guess there's no easy way through cancer, but for me, I was like, okay, no cancer, no radiation.
I didn't have to go through
chemo.
that. Yeah.
Like, I feel fortunate.
For sure.
Right. That my experience was fairly, it's not easy, but relatively. Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's another thing that I'm, you know, 1 in 8 women have breast cancer.
Yeah,
so
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. It's a large number of women. And so that awareness and going through that process last year, I went through that, and then I was in San Jose, and I was doing a launch in partnership with an organization called the Girls Leadership Academy Meetup. Okay. It's called GLAM for short. Okay. So if you guys want to look up a really cool organization, look up GLAM.
GLAM. Okay.
Yeah. And basically we were partnering and sponsoring bringing this organization in to educate girls ages 8 to 12 on how to write business cases. Okay. So marketing, how to write your pricing, how to, you know, your product, and all of these things. And part of that was they had to get up, and we taught them how to speak and be confident and hold your head up and chest out. Wow. And, right. So it's like they had to get up and present. And then I was on the awards committee for this, and I went back to talk to my fellow judges, and one of the girls groups came up with this idea that was so meaningful for me. And it was, they were like, we want to create an application that allows people within the hospital that can't really go out and talk to other people to connect to other people in the hospital. Oh, wow. Okay. And I was like, that is amazing. Right. Because I went through, when I did my mastectomy surgery, you're down. It's hard. Like I would get up and force myself to walk, but it would be like, okay, go around.
Right.
It's like, but you couldn't go in and like be social or see. But I knew there was another woman in the room next to me that had gone through that same experience, and it would have been nice just to connect.
Right. Yeah.
And so I shared when I presented them the award for their presentation. I shared this story because I don't think people realize that if you don't allow these types of ideas to come to fruition and you say, go stick in your box and don't, the impacts that could be happening in the world are limited. And I just see that need for each individual to, if you have an idea or something that could be contributing, don't feel like you need to stay within that boundary. Yeah. Kick out of it. Right. Go do it. Yeah. Right. Like show up, go figure it out, make it happen, see what resources and bring those things to life.
Wow. That's awesome. That is amazing. And I think that's great advice for anyone, right?
Anyone. Absolutely.
Because I think a lot of times we do get stuck in this box, so to speak, right? Where, I'm doing everything I need to be doing. And we have great ideas or these inspirations that come to us, but then we put it off. Someone else will do it. Yeah.
That whole get comfortable being uncomfortable. I use that a lot. And I do that a lot. Yeah.
So what does Trina do in a day to center yourself, behind the scenes? Because everyone gets to see you on stage. They see you speaking and they're looking at this woman going, wow. Right? They're like, man, this woman's
I hope so. I hope that's what their reaction.
No, they do. They're looking at this powerhouse, right? So what do you do behind the scenes that helps you as a person, stay centered, be confident, and those kind of things? What does that look like?
Well, I'm a fitness fanatic. Okay. So fitness is a big thing for me. Yeah. I've always been active throughout my whole life, and like when I got divorced, I did a triathlon. I didn't know how to swim, so I hired a coach. Really? And I'm like, teach me how to swim. And I'm like, 35 years old, and he's like chucking things at me in the pool to like make sure I knew how to like deal with all this. Right. It was kind of funny, but I'm like, that was like a goal for me, like continual improvement. I'm like, okay, I just stay active, get your head somewhere else is important. Okay. And give myself that time. So I wake up every morning at 4:30. Yeah.
Me too. I'm up at 4.
You are? Oh, you beat me. I actually do 4:35 because I figured that an extra 5 minutes
gives you that.
It's like that little edge I've got. I love it. Like, okay, 4:35. Like 5 more minutes today.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah, I know. So I do my gym time. That is my me time. Yeah. And I've learned to just love it. Yeah. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I have to go to. I'm like, I love it. I look forward to it. I can't wait to go.
That's awesome.
And so it's just become part of who I am. And I was always active, but then when I was 42-ish, I got diagnosed with degenerative disc disease in my back. They're like, because I'd go to pick something up off the floor and I just fall on the floor.
Like you'd seize up?
Yeah, I'd seize up and I'd like just, got to, I was like, oh, what is going on here? And they're like, yeah, you have degenerative disc disease. You have the back of a 60-year-old woman, basically. And I'm like, what do I do with that? And they're like, there's not really anything, you just have to try and do preventative and try and avoid surgery. And so I was at the gym one day and this woman walked up and I'm like, she's pretty fit. And I just happened to ask her, I'm like, you happen to train people? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, so can I hire you? Yeah. So she was a fitness coach. And so I started weightlifting a lot. And that led to me, I ended up becoming a fitness model and doing that at the age of 42. Yeah. Wow. I was like, okay, this was definitely talk about outside my comfort zone.
Really? Talk about being out of the box, right?
Yeah. But it was really fun, and having that time to be like, okay, I'm really going to dial in on my fitness for a while and see what I can do here and set goals. And, there's a lot of life lessons that you get from working out in the gym. Just that continual effort, those small things that add up, that make a daily difference. And my kids, they'll even notice, like, some days they're like, Mom, did you go to the gym today? Because you're really freaking ornery. Like, would you go work out or something?
Go, please?
Like, please. Yeah. But what I found is, like, when I got diagnosed with cancer and started going through that process, the benefit of that work before, like the power of going in strong to crisis,
Yeah. Ooh, I like
is
that.
is really important, because if I wasn't as healthy, I don't know if my outcomes would have been the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so we even saw that, like, as we hit COVID in my husband's company, and the way that he was able to go in strong to COVID, even though they had clients calling and canceling and things,
Right.
from a business perspective,
Right,
there's
yeah.
value of like, okay, are we doing the daily workouts and strength training we need to do to keep our company where it needs to be, so when
Right.
crisis hits, we can just get through it.
We can weather it and get through. Yeah.
And
Love
are we
that.
keeping our culture in a place where we can react and respond like we need to?
Wow. I love that. That's great. So what beliefs do you have now about you that empower you?
Oh, that's a good one. What beliefs do I have? I have lots of them. I've found this last year, and having gone through, there was a lot of benefits in going through cancer, those look backs, going back to the look back.
Looking
we can
back.
go to the look back.
Yeah.
So when I got diagnosed, I mean, those first few weeks are just terrible. Your mind, I'm sure a lot of people live that, right? Like, just when you just get, you don't know, you're like, I might die, right? And I might be I don't know where this is going to go, and I don't know what's going to happen. And there's a few things I learned through that experience. And the first was, I had a friend of ours give me this book called Letting Go. You heard of that?
I have, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I listened to it over and over and over again. And I still, to this day, when I'm challenged with something, or I have something that I'm like, oh, where do I go with this? Is this, I start ruminating, or I get caught up in it and my mind's going crazy.
You're right.
I'll stop and go, okay, is this something I need to let go?
Right.
And for me at that time, it was, you know what? I might die, and be okay with that and let it go.
Wow.
And just have to go, I'm going to go through what I need to go through.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardest thing was telling my kids. That day of having to communicate that to, a room of 8 kids sitting in front of you, was the hardest thing I think I've ever done in my life.
I can't, yeah.
And what we did, the other thing I learned, is that my husband's partner's wife called me, and she's like, we want to throw a party. And I was in this really bad spot, and I was like, heck yeah, let's go freaking party.
Do it.
I'm like, I got to get my head somewhere else. I got to shift. Like, this is too heavy. And so for the next few weeks, we planned, within 2 weeks before my surgery, we planned this massive party. It shifted my mindset into being more positive.
Okay.
And was like, okay, I've got something to work on. We're going to, do this big thing, and I'm going to have, who do we need to invite? And it kind of shifted me from being caught in that mindset all the time of thinking about my situation was happening. I mean, it was still very real. You're going to the doctor and you're getting this news and trying to figure out and doing MRIs and everything else. But we threw this massive party. We had over 300 people show up in less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
It was the most amazing, uplifting. I called it my cancer crushing army.
Nice.
We rallied, and I had my generals, and I had I had my army behind me, and that was such a gift.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think people realize, you talk about people that might be struggling or going through something hard. I don't think people realize how many people are there to help you and support you.
Right.
It's invisible. And I'd had this kind of shown to me, where I had that much of a people that care and showed up. People I didn't even know came to it just to say they were there and they were there to support and were there to rally. And it was a very powerful thing. And as I went through my recovery, I drew on that energy a lot, of remembering that positivity and thinking about those people that are there. And I think if people were to step back and think about all the people in your life that are there and are supportive of you, and just reaching out and making connections, or just know that people are there for you.
Yeah.
And it's that still to this day is like, wow, that's pretty powerful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, a lot of times we have to, if we reach out and ask, it's there. We just, like you said, a lot of times it feels invisible, but it is there.
It is there.
And people will rally around you.
Yeah, I used to be I have to do it all on my own person.
Yeah.
That was really hard. It was really hard for me to reach out and ask for help.
Yeah.
You know, that's something I still struggle.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
okay,
you're a confident, driven,
I got this. I
woman.
can do it. But you know what? I don't always got it.
Right. Well, I think we all, well, I think what makes you great too is you are a driven person and you really work hard and you're passionate about what you do. Then when you get thrown a curveball, you're thinking, well, I can have the same thing over here.
Yeah.
Whereas, no, I actually need to reach out and have some people step in and
go ask
and be there for me, or have the army, like you said.
Go find your coach.
Go find the coach.
Who knows how to get through this one? Or,
yeah,
you know, a lot of times if I'm, when I've had to deal with these things, it's like, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this?
Yeah.
It's hard to get through, but you'll get through. And I've, having gone through all of these challenges, right? Personal and health and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
What's been amazing is now I'm later on in my life is recognizing that once I got through those things, something amazing was on the other side.
Ooh,
every single time.
Yeah.
And now being able to trust that, it's like, hey, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to grow through it. And I'm going to just be waiting because the universe is going to send me something freaking awesome. Something amazing on its way. I know it.
Right.
I just got to deal with this right now.
Yeah.
Right. No matter how hard it is. And
wow. That's awesome.
That's just kind of the mindset I've chosen to have.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Well, you've given a lot of advice and some great direction for all of us today. If there's someone right now, or maybe you can give us all a challenge right now, something that can help us be more leadership-like. Mm-hmm. Is there a challenge that you could give me and your listeners?
Yeah, I would say, find your superpower. What is it that you're passionate and what's your purpose? And then don't be afraid to fail. That's part of it.
Yeah.
I'm really good at failing.
Mm-hmm.
That's like they asked me to speak at BYU on failure. And I'm like, why are they asking me to speak on failure? And I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm really dang good at it. I'm really, really good at failure.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's like, don't be afraid to fail. Make sure you're not making decisions based on fear.
Yeah.
And go, okay, what do I really want to do? And how do I get there? And not be afraid of what might happen.
Wow.
And just take those steps forward.
Beautifully said. If there's someone listening to this right now and they want to reach out to you and ask you a question or get to know more about what you do, want to know more about your programs, what's the best way for them to do that? Yeah,
reach out, get involved. So my website is RizeNext.com, RizeNext.com. I think we're saying it's kind of like the rise of the phoenix, right?
Yeah,
rise up that next level of diverse workforce. That's what we do. And
I love that.
We've got volunteers coming in all the time. We bring in people to coach and speak to all the women, and as well as we're looking to scale and see how we can broaden this. I mean, the biggest thing I would ask is
like that.
If you know somebody that could benefit by being in this program, have them reach out. We want to create awareness that this is happening and the opportunities will help coach through the rest of it.
Nice. Well, I'm going to do my part in that and get this out to as many people as we possibly can. And I want you to know I support everything that you do. You inspire me. And it's great to be able to sit across from you in person, get to know you even better, and to hear just all these amazing things that you're doing in life. It really is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's my honor, and I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, well, there you go, folks. There's Trina Limpert. She's amazing. Please reach out to her and ask her, any question you have, and get involved. I mean, she'll show you the way. She'll show you how to do it. It's exactly what she did, and there's a reason why she's making a difference, not in just a few lives, thousands of lives, and really is making an impact. Please share this Belief Cast with anyone you know that needs to hear this. Thank you for all your support. And again, thank you for Veracity Networks for helping us. And again, Trina, you're amazing. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
You betcha.